Hi, sisters.
I think it is recording. Okay, so before we start, what I want you to do is put your name on your paper. That should already be done. It says do before on your paper. So it's asking prior knowledge questions. What important gas do you take in? What do you breathe in? What kind? Oxygen. So go ahead and write that down. We know we breathe oxygen. And how come we never run out of oxygen? Because we have trees, or because we have plants. So go ahead and write that down. We have plants. You should have your electronic out. Should. What I'm going to have you do is go ahead and go to google.com. Good. And while you're on Google, go ahead and type in the word Gizmo, Gizmos, Gizmos, like that, and then press enter. Yeah. At the bottom of your paper, it tells you all the information if you want to get ahead and how to get ahead. Once you get to this website, the first link right here, it just say Explore Learning Gizmos. Go ahead and click that. And it should launch a new screen. And then you're going to come over here where it says Login and Enroll. Right here. And you're not going to type in a username or password because you don't have one yet. You're going to type in a class code. And each class period has a different code. So if you look on your paper, and you all are the green paper, at the bottom on step 4, it has the code. So for example, if you're in the third period, it tells you to type in HK, and capitalized does not matter. It's HKQ R7 RN LP 5. And then you're going to put enroll in class. It should confirm the class period that you're in. It should say third period. One more time because he looks like he's struggling a little bit. Even though he has a partner there that should be reading it to him instead of, yeah. It's called teamwork. Are you good? Okay. So it should say third period science. If you're in my fourth period, it would say fourth period, and so forth. You're going to create a new account. So click that. And then it's going to ask for some personal information. You're going to need to put your first name. So for example, I would put Joanna. And then my last name, Gonzalez. And then you don't have to put an email address. This is not required for students. Username. Your username is your first name dot last name. And your password is science. And then you need to confirm your password, science. SCIENCE. Make sure you spell it correctly. And then press submit. Your first name dot last name. Your last name dot first name, sorry. So it should be Macias dot Leo.
Anthony dot Salazar.
You shouldn't use galleys then. Excuse me?
Doesn't matter if it's capitalized or not.
Go ahead and key in your stuff. Anthony dot Salazar. Do Salazar. Have you done a Gizmo before? Oh, maybe there's a lot of Destiny Sanchez's out there. Put your number 1 next to it. Sure. But put your name so I know that it's yours. Science. Science. No. Because when you get locked out, you're like, I don't remember my password. I'm just saying it's science. We'll wait for you to confirm your password and then press launch. And then you should get to this point right here. Again, you should have the period you're in. If you say, if you're in my third period, you should be in my third. If you're in my sixth, you should be the sixth. And then right here, where it says launch, go ahead and click that. Go ahead and click launch. And it should open up a screen that looks like this. I'm going to show you some pieces that you're going to need to complete this assignment. So, first thing I want you to do is turn your switch on and off, like this. On and off. I want to make sure your on and off works.
I flip the switch.
I did the switch.
Wow. Okay, next thing I want you to do, go ahead and grab an Elodia. To grab it, you're going to have to click and drag and put it into the A test tube. You can take it in and you can take it out. Yes? Try grabbing a little snail in. Oops. You're going to have to click and drag them into the water. Technically. Okay, everybody go to click and dragging? Okay, next thing I want you to do is click this little box right here. This is show oxygen and CO2 values. We're not turning on and off the switch anymore. Okay, it should give you a little rectangular box right here and it tells you the O2 and the CO2 levels. What are these two things? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. You can move this stick throughout the test tubes because that's going to be needed for the gizmo. So it's going to ask you to put stuff into the gizmo and then to press play. I'm not going to show you, but it'll, right here, down here, there's a time period. And then you press play, and then it's going to show you what would happen in 24 hours.
24 hours?
Mm-hmm. And then you'll need to reset. So anytime you see the word reset, you just click that button. Okay? So starting up at the top, it says the gizmo warm-up. You're going to use a small amount of BTB, which is a chemical identifier. It changes color depending on what you put. It says with the light set on, this is on number 1, it says drag a snail into one test tube. So drag a snail into test tube A. And then it says grab a plant and put it into another. So grab a plant, put it in B. And then it says press play and see what happens to the tube. So go ahead and press play. And it should. And we'll explain why. Okay, so
Why did the water turn blue?
what color did the water turn in A?
Like yellow.
Yellow. And what can you
But
conclude?
it's a
Not that it's a decomposer. Look at the gas level. So the whole thing is to look at the gases. So what can you tell me about test tube A? It has less oxygen and more carbon. So the CO2 level is high. If I move it to B, what can you conclude?
It has more oxygen than carbon.
Perfect. So it has more oxygen
So it has
than
more
carbon.
Oxygen, the water.
And if it's green,
They're the same.
they're the same. And we call that an equilibrium. These two gases are equal. So that's what you would write on question 1.
Why the ocean's blue?
Kind of. But there's animals in the ocean. The objective of this lab is for you to understand the different types of gases in photosynthesis. Okay. Once you're done jotting down stuff, I put little hints throughout your lab. That way it can help you. It says place either snails and elodias, little hints, and so forth. You should get through at least 3 of the gizmos. If you do the extra last gizmo, which is activity C, and again, it's going to ask you to reset. To reset, you go here. Those are extra credit questions. So I'm looking for at least the first, 1.5 pages completed. Do you have questions about on and off or dragging stuff? What you're playing with is the gases in photosynthesis. You turn on like that.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah, you were doing it like 100 times, Anthony. He just wants to be famous.
Like that?
Hi, sisters.
I think